Do you think in the future prices will go up or down? Do you think there will be more resources or fewer? Do you think the future will be better for people or for the elites? It takes 20 years to prepare for the next phase of a cycle, and the decline has begun in everything: food scarcity, energy scarcity, metal scarcity, oil, and even water scarcity. So, prepare yourself and your loved ones because winter is coming. This is Google Podcasters Judging My Membership video on, well, you already know the title. In this video, the podcasters will dissect and judge my video from the form to the core of the message. Just remember this: if you're struggling to keep up with rising costs and dwindling resources, you're not alone. The elites are tightening the noose, and it's time to fight back by making every minute, action, and dollar count. This isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving in a world designed to keep us down. The goal of this podcast? To review, judge, and give you a glimpse of what I prepare for my special members. My intentions are to help you take control of your life, optimize your daily habits, and prepare for the scarcity that's coming. You'll learn the hard truths about why efficiency isn't just a choice, it's a necessity. Stay until the end. You will like it. Ready to turn chaos into control? Let's get started.
Ever get that feeling? Like when that new phone comes out, suddenly yours feels like 5 years old, even though it works fine.
Oh, tell me about it.
It's like this pressure, to shell out a ton of cash just to keep up.
Yep.
And you sent us this article, K. Waterloo.
Intense.
Intense is one word for it. This author, he's really fired up about this whole thing, says our need to have the latest tech. It's turning us into like pawns in a game controlled by, well, everyone, really. Big tech, corporations, the whole system, he says.
What I find so interesting, though, is he's tapping into something very real. This anxiety, right? We love tech, but it's like we're on this treadmill of gotta upgrade, and it's exhausting.
He actually calls it an addiction. Straight up says we're addicted.
Yeah.
And that we're being duped.
Yeah, he doesn't hold back.
Which, okay, I get the feeling, but is it really that bleak? I mean, are we that powerless against the next shiny gadget?
Well, the language is strong for sure. He's trying to shake us awake.
Right.
And sure, there's a lot of, fear-mongering around tech in general.
Oh, yeah.
But the core idea here, it's valid. We often don't realize how much our choices, even in tech, are influenced by things outside of ourselves.
So it's not even about wanting the better phone. It's like what that phone represents in this whole big picture.
Exactly. He uses the iPhone as an example.
Yeah.
This need to impress, right?
Oh, totally.
It's not about the tech, it's the image, the status it's supposed to project.
Yeah.
And companies, they know this. They exploit our need to fit in, to look successful. It's manipulation.
It's like having the latest phone is this measure of like how well you're doing in life.
Fear, which is ridiculous when you actually say it out loud.
Totally.
But this article, he goes beyond just the psychology of it all, right? Like into the actual cost of this upgrade treadmill.
Absolutely. And that's where I think the whole financial sovereignty thing comes in. You've been open about your budget, and tech's a big chunk of it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
K. Waterloo actually breaks down how much the average person could be saving if they kept their stuff longer.
Huh?
Repaired instead of replaced. Just being smarter about it.
See, now those numbers, I got to hear those numbers because that adds up quick. But how do we break free from this need for the latest and greatest?
Well, it's fascinating. He lays out this tech survival guide. And the whole focus is like function over flash.
Okay.
Simple, durable tech built to last. It's not about rejecting tech altogether.
Right. It's more like stripping it back down
Yeah.
to what you need and getting that control back.
So less chasing trends, more practicality.
Exactly.
I like it. And he gives actual advice on how to do that.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
Some of it's a little radical, but worth thinking about. Like, he's big on buying stuff that's designed to last, repairable.
Yeah.
And to really think about how much of your phone, your laptop are you really using?
Yeah.
Versus stuff that's just like marketing fluff.
That's so true. I'm totally guilty of that. He also mentions this thing, digital minimalism, which honestly sounds a little scary. Like, am I living with 5 apps on my phone?
He takes it pretty far, yeah.
Okay.
But the core, it's about being intentional. What tech do you allow in your life? How does it serve you? Every app, every device, every upgrade. Is this adding value, or is it just noise, distraction?
And draining my bank account.
There you go.
So taking back control. Instead of letting tech control us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just about our wallets. He connects this whole tech reliance to bigger systems like power, control. He says by constantly upgrading, we're almost feeding this system that's designed to keep us hooked.
He even calls it financial warfare. Are our gadgets like weapons of mass consumption now?
The language is dramatic, yeah.
Yeah.
But the point is, our choices with tech,
Huh.
they have ripple effects. Data privacy, the environment, even global stuff, power dynamics. We got to at least be aware of it, even if we don't go full doomsday prepper.
Right. So more mindfulness is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Which I can get behind. But then he goes on about how it's not just individual choices, it's about being ready for societal collapse. Okay, I haven't stocked up on canned goods yet. How
Yeah.
seriously are we taking that part?
That's the question, right? He's definitely on the more extreme end of that whole prepper thing. And we don't want to freak anyone out needlessly.
Yeah, not trying to cause a tech-induced panic attack.
Right, exactly. But
Yeah.
even if it's not full-blown apocalypse, some of it's valid. Supply chains, resources, things getting unstable around the world.
Yeah.
These are real things that could disrupt how we get the tech we rely on.
So even if it's not like the end, being a little more self-sufficient tech-wise isn't crazy.
It's about resilience.
What else?
Like having some emergency supplies, it's peace of mind.
Yeah.
Being able to fix your own stuff, that's empowering, especially as those skills get rarer.
It's not just about saving money, then it's reclaiming control almost.
Right.
I like it. But he gets into some oddly specific advice too.
Oh, like what?
He has this whole thing about not trying to impress romantic partners with gadgets. Oh, interesting.
Which, yeah, good point maybe, but kind of random in a tech survival guide, no.
That's what I love, though. He makes these jumps, but there's a connection if you look for it. In this case, I think he's saying our tech choices, they reflect values, priorities, even in relationships.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. How so?
Well, think about it. If you need the newest tech to impress someone, maybe there's something deeper there. Why do you need to buy their affection? Would you feel insecure without that status symbol?
Wow. Okay, getting deep now.
Right. Relationship therapy meets tech critique, but his point is genuine connection. It shouldn't depend on owning the right gadget.
So it's not the phone, it's what it represents to that person, to you. Are you projecting? Trying to meet their expectations. Exactly. And those are good questions to ask yourself, relationship or not. He's urging us to be aware of the messages our choices send to ourselves, to the world.
That's a good point. It's easy to get caught up in the hype, the pressure, but really it's about, do your choices match what you value, your goals? And if that means rocking a 5-year-old phone proudly, good for you.
Right on. You'd be surprised how refreshing that is to people in this whole gotta have the new thing world.
Maybe our new motto should be like authenticity over upgrades.
Love it.
We've talked breaking free of tech addiction, the money part, even a little relationship therapy snuck in there. But his tech survival guide, it doesn't stop there. He's got this whole action plan and it's detailed.
Action plan for choosing a phone.
Ah,
That's intense.
right.
But I'm sure there's good stuff in there, even if we're not building bunkers just yet.
Okay, you've got me curious. So first step on this journey to a healthier relationship with tech, what's he suggest we do? All right, so action plan time, tech survival guide. He's got 10 whole steps laid out. And some of it, yeah, it's a little out there, prepper style. But I'm thinking there's wisdom here for all of us, even if we're not like bunker building yet. What's the first move then on this journey to tech independence?
First steps, surprisingly simple, but we miss it all the time. Take inventory. Like really get real about what you have tech-wise, what you actually use.
Okay.
That drawer full of old chargers, the apps you haven't touched in a year, subscriptions you're still paying for.
Dude, don't get me started on those sneaky subscriptions. Sign up for the free trial, totally forget, then bam, there's the charge.
There you go. And they add up, those little charges, right? So he's saying go through it all. Devices, apps, subscriptions, the whole 9 yards. And ask yourself, do I need this? Is it actually doing something for me? Or am I just holding on? Habit, maybe FOMO, who knows?
Like digital clutter almost. Spring cleaning for your phone instead of your closet, which honestly could feel kind of good, getting rid of what you don't use.
Exactly. And speaking of good feelings, he even says, set yourself a money goal during this step. Like imagine, I'm going to cut my tech spending by 20%. Boom, there's your target, motivating you to really clear out the digital junk.
Ooh, I like that. Concrete goal. Gotta have that. Okay, so we've decluttered. We're more aware. What's next on the tech survival checklist?
Step 2, he's all about setting SMART goals.
Wait, hold up. Not the smart fridge becoming self-aware, right?
Not this time. SMART, it's an acronym. Specific, measurable, achievable. You know, the whole goal setting thing people do. but applied to tech.
So instead of just vaguely being like, yeah, I should spend less on this stuff,
Right, exactly.
you'd say like, I'm using this phone for 2 years minimum before I even look at upgrades.
Boom. There you go. Makes it real, makes you take action. And then you're way less likely to just impulse buy the next shiny thing because you got your plan, you know what matters.
Way harder to justify dropping $1,000 on the newest whatever when you've got that clarity for sure. Speaking of which, this whole buy less, buy better, it hinges on stuff lasting.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's step 3, all about repair, not replace. He is big on choosing tech that's meant to last and then learning to fix it yourself when it breaks.
Which, dude, it's like a lost art nowadays. This whole disposable culture, you just upgrade the second something's slow.
Right. It's almost like we've been trained that way, you
Yeah.
know. But he sees that as like surrendering. Every time we throw something out instead of fixing it, we're giving up our money, our independence, the whole deal. He wants us to get that power back.
So it's mental too, not just buying a sturdier phone, but thinking about fixing as empowering, even cool.
Exactly. Like imagine, I could fix my own phone. That's a skill. It's a way to say no to these companies that want their stuff to break down so you buy more.
Yeah.
And it's better for the planet, let's be real.
Okay, I'm kind of digging this whole tech survivalist thing now. It's like taking back control, thinking about the impact. So, decluttered, we got goals, we're handy now. What's the next level of enlightenment?
Step 4. Sounds basic, but it's sneaky. Upgrade your habits, not your tech. Before you even think about buying new stuff, look at how you're using what you've got.
So squeezing more juice out of it, rather than just chasing the new, basically.
Precisely. Being intentional about your time, your attention, minimizing distractions, thinking of tech as the tool, not the boss, getting that control back, from those apps, that always-on feeling.
Which this ties back to the digital minimalism, right?
100%. And he gets into specifics like setting app limits, having tech-free time, even using those minimalist phone launchers where it's just the essentials. Breaking free, from that feeling of always being on.
Some of that, the minimalist phone especially, makes me a little twitchy, not gonna lie.
It's radical, for sure.
But I get it. Just being aware of how much time, how much mental energy we're dumping into the digital void, because it sucks you in, man.
And that's the thing, this part's free. It's your behavior, your choice, not your wallet for one.
Which, way preferable to stockpiling beans in a bunker, I gotta say.
Right. He gets intense sometimes, but gotta remember, he's talking to a certain audience, people ready for a big change, especially if things go sideways in the future.
Good point. Take what works, leave what doesn't, right? Most of us, we're not ditching our smartphones anytime soon, but there's lessons here. That balance, that's the key. The benefits without letting it rule your life, your bank account, your attention span, the whole deal.
Totally. And that's what I like. This deep dive, it makes you think about your own habits, the bigger picture. It's not just picking a phone, it's picking how you want to live almost.
Picking your own future. In a way, yeah. Now, before we go too far, gotta ask. We talked about how he sees this overconsumption, feeding the system, making us dependent. How's that tie into the don't impress dates with gadgets thing? That still feels kind of random to me.
Good catch, because it loops back to that authenticity thing. This idea that if you need external validation, whether it's the new iPhone or your date being impressed, you're giving your power away.
It's about knowing you're worth something, gadgets or no gadgets.
Exactly. Building those relationships, any relationship, on real stuff.
Yeah.
Shared values, respect, not just, ooh, cool phone, which fades.
Which, honestly, that's good life advice overall, not even just tech. Be real, not flashy.
There you go. Connections that run deeper.
All right, so we've tackled like 4 of his 10 steps, and my brain's already full.
There's more.
Right.
Oh, yeah. We're just getting started. Refurbished tech, building your own network, staying ahead of the curve.
Yeah, he's got ideas.
Okay, you've convinced me. When we come back, we're diving into the deep end of this tech survival guide. Stick with us.
Back again, and we're really getting into it now with this whole tech survival guide thing. K. Waterloo, man, he's got us thinking long term, huh? Like, what if our gadgets became a liability, not a luxury?
He's definitely not afraid to go there, is he? Even if you don't agree with everything, he makes you confront stuff about your own habits.
Yeah.
And the whole system,
That's the point of these deep dives, though, right? Make those brain cells work a little. Now, we were about to get into his 5th recommendation, and this one, I don't know, might ruffle some feathers. Refurbished tech.
See, make it sound like a bad thing. He's all about how it's not just cheaper, but it's like sticking it to the man right. Less waste, more conscious choices.
Okay, yeah, those are solid points. And saving money is never bad. But me personally, I've always been a little hesitant, especially with phones, laptops, anything important. Feels risky. Like, what am I getting, right?
I get it. But he addresses that head on. Says that fear, that's marketing, man. They've drilled it into us. New equals better, even when it doesn't. Got to break free from that.
There's definitely an allure, though, to the brand new thing,
Oh, for sure. That unboxing, that feeling, it's intentional.
Oh, totally.
He's saying by chasing that, we're playing right into their hands. The system wants us feeling behind, insecure, always needing the next fix.
Stuck on that consumerism treadmill, like you said before.
100%. Break the cycle. That's his whole thing. Real value, real satisfaction.
Yeah.
That's about your choices, your values, not what some ad tells you to want.
Choosing what matters to you, yeah. Okay, so we're ditching the new obsession, fixing stuff, maybe even rocking a refurbished phone. What other tech survival secrets we got?
Okay, this is where he gets a little out there. Even for him, he's big on moving beyond just buying stuff normally, like retail. Building your own resource network, he calls it.
Hold on, are we bartering for RAM sticks at the flea market now?
Not far off. Tech swap groups, skill shares, that kind of thing. Instead of dropping hundreds on a new laptop, you offer your web design skills for someone's old one.
Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. Trading skills instead of just always cash, puts a different spin on things.
Right. What we value, what we can do.
It's not ditching the system completely, though, right? He also mentioned staying in the loop, like informed about tech stuff, even more so now.
Oh, big time. That's step 7. Stay ahead of the curve. His thinking is, with tech changing so fast and things maybe getting shaky in the world, knowledge is power.
So don't just upgrade your phone, upgrade your understanding of how it all works. The making, the economics, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. Be curious about the trends, the cybersecurity, even the politics of it all. Think critically. Don't just consume blindly.
Makes sense, especially now. Everything's moving so fast. But he doesn't shy away from the whole, what if society kind of shifts big time?
Yeah, that's always there in his writing. Like this constant consumption, this reliance on tech.
Yeah.
He's not sure it's sustainable.
And he's saying if we make different choices now, become more self-reliant, more resilient, we can weather the storm, so to speak.
More than that, maybe even thrive. It's about that control again,
Yeah.
Empowering yourself with knowledge, building the future you want to see, not just what's sold to you.
Which, honestly, whether you buy his whole doomsday thing or not, that's a powerful message. So we've covered a lot. Addiction, mindful consumption, fixing things, alternative economies, even how we date, apparently.
He covers it all.
But it all leads up to this. Financial sovereignty, taking back control of your money, your life, through tech choices.
It's all connected, right? That feeling of being stuck, always spending. He's saying, make those choices yours, based on your values, not on some company's bottom line.
It's like freedom, almost. Not from having the newest gadget, but from knowing enough, being skilled enough to navigate this whole tech world on your own terms.
Exactly. And that's empowering no matter what happens in the future.
So we've gone deep, folks. Complex ideas, big questions. But here's the thing. What do you do with it all now? Is this just some tech guy's rant? Or is it a challenge? To have a healthier relationship with tech, even if it's hard, even if it's different, the choice, like always, is yours.
And that's what I like about it. It's a journey, figuring it out. Every step, every choice. It tells you something about yourself, what matters to you in the end.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder those big questions. Find your own path in this crazy, amazing world of tech. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.
And even if they don't share all my views and missed understanding 1 or 2 points of the video made specially for our premium community members, I have to say the podcaster did an admirable job. Now, knowing that more independent from the system you are and less money you need to spend, you've got 2 choices. Either stay without full control over your life, or join the Spartan tribe and take the reins of your future. You might think you've learned a bit from this video, but believe me, there's so much more beneath the surface. Our exclusive membership includes videos packed with explosive, actionable solutions that will definitely make a difference for you and your community. While the rest of the world is struggling with chaos, you'll be the one thriving. But if you're not quite ready, take a look at my other videos and playlists. And before you do that, I'm really eager to hear what you liked the most about this video. Do you have any questions? Here's one from me. What do you want more of? Money, time, or both? And would you rather have it later or sooner? Most people looking for these advantages end up liking, subscribing, and crucially, joining us to become executive members. If you decide not to join, you might just find your bank account slowly dwindling. So, what's your next move? Hit that subscribe button, become an executive member, and tap into knowledge that sets you apart from the crowd. The real question is, do you merely want to survive, or do you aim to dominate? Remember, the weak will fall, but the prepared will thrive. Click to join now.